Australia has no shortage of potential energy coming from the sky. Even in the traditional coal mining region of the Hunter Valley, an old-style power station is moving to harvest the country's most abundant resource. The energy generated by this field of mirrors reflecting the sun powers the equivalent of 500 homes. Small, but a start.
We use the steam to heat feed water, which is the water going to the boiler that creates steam for our turbines and then electricity generation. So by this thermal solar steam going into the unit, we can then have more steam going through the turbines to produce electricity.
It would take 30 square kilometres of these mirrors to power the entire country, but the wheels of change turn slowly. This plant was developed by an Australian researcher who moved to the United States and Germany, where better government incentives are fuelling a renewable energy boom. Solar provides less than 1% of Australia's energy. The world's sunniest continent remains one of the most coal-dependent nations in the world. Australia is poised to introduce green energy targets of 20% by the year 2020. But far from creating a new dawn for the solar industry, there are accusations a so-called greenhouse mafia is intent on keeping the status quo.
And that's the coal industry, oil, iron and steel, aluminium, cement, motor vehicles, forestry and agriculture. They're the greenhouse mafia. And they have been working very hard to slow down renewable energy, which they see as a threat.
Many Australians are undeterred, taking advantage of a government rebate for rooftop solar panels. But that incentive will end soon, and households are offered little or no financial return for excess power fed back into the grid.
In England now they're bringing in a feed-in tariff which is creating a market where people are renting out their rooftop space for investors to come in and put solar panels on top of them. All these incentives are great models for the public to invest in green energy.
Private sector investment is also lagging behind. Australia's only photovoltaic panel making plant, BP Solar in Sydney, last month stopped production to cut costs. Local companies admit it's easier to manufacture overseas. Countries like Germany, Spain, China and Tunisia offer solar tax breaks, less red tape and cheaper workers.
We should actually be ashamed of ourselves. We have the most ideal circumstances to take advantage of solar energy, and we choose not to do it. And it's not the public choosing not to do it, it's layers and layers of bureaucratic nightmare that actually interferes with making this process simple.
As nations with far fewer natural advantages power ahead, it's a situation that threatens to leave the sunny country behind. Aela, Callan, Al Jazeera, Sydney.